Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. Happy New Year. It's been a while since see you since last year. Courtney, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Kevin.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's tease them what can they expect on today's show.
We have Cellular World in. They're going to be here on our couch telling you what deals they have for this new year, so you can start off your new year right with some new electronics, whatever it is that you didn't get for your Christmas, under your Christmas tree.
It's also Monday,
Yes.
and this is highly anticipated. Jules comes in with the Monday morning beef serving for 2026. Let's see how it's going to be, how it's going to hot, spicy, tender, I don't know, but we're going to find out today on Sun Up on 7. But thank you so much for joining us, making some company to Courtney and I. Courtney, let's go to the couch.
Let's do it.
Let me see you do your thing now. You're rolling, how you're rolling. Party them a jumping, party them a jumping.
DJ man, you know you're ready party. You is the man that make everybody.
I've come to find that the truth isn't what we were told. So where
To everybody on
do
Sunup.
I seek the answer that's worth looking for today? Just in time,
And he's here to talk to us
the
about
writing appears on
the
the
show that we're on
wall.
right now. Tell me, this
You
one
and
of your favorites.
I were the first ones to see
And we're going to be talking about the hot shush that has been
the
happening.
world that we see may seem that will never change. They say, but if you tear down the wall that's blinding us all, you'll see the way today. A place to call your home, a place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You'll discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up.
Muy buenos dias, Sun Up on 7 family. Welcome to your Monday episode. It's your first Monday episode of 2026. Thank you so much for welcoming Courtney into your space. If you're watching via Facebook, YouTube, or cable TV, we're going to have a great episode. Before we get into it, let's bring in the weather, and that's courtesy of the Belize Met Service.
Good morning. A light east-to-northeasterly airflow prevails over the area. And in the 24-hour forecast, skies will be sunny with a few cloudy spells today and then partly cloudy tonight. Showers, if any, will be isolated. And then high temperatures will reach around 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 86 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 74 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 72 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 63 inland, and then 58 up in the mountains. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 10 knots or less, with sea conditions being slight to light chop. And then high tides occur at 11:56 this morning and at 11:26 tonight. Low tides at 5:09 this evening, then at 6:38 tomorrow morning. The moon will set at 8:27 this morning and rise at 8:07 tonight, while sunrise is at 6:24 this morning and sunset at 5:32 this evening. Next, we have the extended forecast. Similar conditions are expected for Tuesday and Tuesday night. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
you're ready for your first serving of the Monday morning beef. Jules is ready, right, Jules? Good morning.
Am I ready?
I
Good
think
morning.
so. I think so.
I don't feel ready.
You don't feel ready.
I still think we should have maintained the.
Maintain the ham.
Yeah, maintain the
for
ham.
for a week longer.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah,
I've been
but-
pressed into service.
But Happy New Year, Jules. It's
Happy New Year
2026.
to everyone. I came on the last day because we're taking down these today. So I came on the last day that I could appear festive and jolly,
Yeah.
which I am generally. Very.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we are black.
Right.
Yeah, we agreed on black
We're
today.
all dark colors. Yeah,
We're all mourning for Maduro, no?
Yeah. So that's like a great way to start the first conversation, Jules. The invasion of Venezuela.
Yeah, you know, this is naked and raw imperialism. This is what the United States has been doing in the Americas since the propagation of the Monroe Doctrine in the early 1800s. You cannot go into a country and abduct its leader, even though you have a warrant for his arrest and an indictment, for him in the U.S. Southern District of New York, where I might add all the Belizeans who have been taken from this country. I think of Mr. Herbert and Mr. Herschler, were both indicted in that same court. Mr. Herbert I mentioned because he too was abducted unlawfully from Belize without any due process. He was just a citizen. He's not a head of state. I think that, first off, we have to lament this type of imperialist interventionism and the extremely colonialistic concept that you can just run a country. We'll run the country now.
That's what Trump said, yeah.
Let us be very clear. This is happening because Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. That is why this is happening. Mr. Trump mentioned in his press conference the word oil 24 times. He mentioned narcoterrorism or whatever they're calling it. He mentioned narcotics less than 10 times. But it's about the oil. And you see, Venezuela was trying to do something very dangerous in this hemisphere under Mr. Chavez. First, they nationalized the oil companies in the 70s, and I think another wave probably in the early 2000s. But Mr. Chavez was trying to create, through PetroCaribe, well known in Belize, an axis of power in the region to give countries in this region greater autonomy from the United States by making us less dependent on imported oil, or oil imported from countries that aren't Venezuela. So they sold it to us at a discount. They did that throughout the region. My point is that they were threatening American dominance in this hemisphere, which they have operated since the 1800s. This is the kind of intervention that the U.S. has practiced in Panama, in Grenada, in Guatemala, in Chile, in so many countries. The empire is not good at state building. Mr. Trump says we are going to run the country. They cannot run their own country. They cannot run their own country. Their country is run amok. But yet they want to run Venezuela, a country of 30 million. We have to understand that the second thing we must do is grieve for Cuba.
Yeah.
Because Cuba is totally dependent on oil from Venezuela. This is a country under daily blackouts. some parts of the country, 12 to 14 hours a day. They don't have oil. The oil they do get, they try and use half of it, sell half of it to China. Their oil supply is cut off. And the U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Rubio, being of Cuban-American descent himself, will next turn his focus to Cuba. So we have to be concerned for Cuba. But Taiwan must be concerned because the precedent has been set. And Chinese President Xi, the mainland Chinese president, has made it clear that it is time. He made that clear in his New Year's address. So China must be very concerned. The Americans have said they want Greenland as well. They are sending a message to Colombia as well, where there's a left-wing president, Mr. Petro. It is a very dangerous time for the region because if you offend the United States of America masters, you run a risk of being abducted. Now, I want to address as best I can this issue of narco-terrorism. All the U.S. accounts, and I think we have footage of Mr. Maduro, guys. He will appear today in a Manhattan courtroom, right, on multiple charges for narco-terrorism, as they call it. Let us understand, this, as the noted Mexican historian Carmen Aguilar, I believe his name is, Hector Aguilar Carmen, born in Chetumal,
Okay.
as he called it, the insatiable North American nose, the relentless demand for cocaine. What has it done to our region? Yes, people are responsible for their own actions. People do illegal things. But look at the corrosive effect that the transshipment of drugs has had on the culture of violence in this region. Think about countries like Trinidad in particular that are completely rattled by narco-violence because the drugs have to go north from Venezuela, yes. Think of countries like Belize, Honduras, Mexico in particular, where the cartels are like state actors in that country in terms of the power and influence that they have. This is all because everything has to go north. Yes, we are responsible for illegal actions we engage in, but it is because the Americans are unable to fetter the demand, the insatiable demand for drugs in the U.S. They too are responsible for their actions. All of us must be responsible, so don't underestimate that we are all prisoners. This narco trafficking has poisoned and toxified every country from South America north, in the Caribbean, and on the Central American isthmus into North America. All of us have been affected because of the North American nose, which is insatiable. We must keep this in perspective.
Yeah.
We're all prisoners of this war. All victims. Now I will say something that does not augur in favor of the Venezuelans, because all the U.S. reports say that Venezuela is not a major exporter of cocaine. Well, I could tell you one thing, brother. And guys, I think in the folder we have the pictures. Every drug plane truck that I have seen, and I think we have the pictures of the maps. So in 2022, I was privy to certain intelligence that would come to the police through a source of the drug plane trucks that would leave South America and enter Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, Mexico. And every single one in that time that I was seeing the trucks. Every single one. It's in the folder for the beef, or I can send it. All right. 1 second. Allow me to send this in. Every single drug plane truck originated in Venezuela. All of them that came to Belize originated in Venezuela. At that time, it occurred to me that Venezuela had a system that had to somehow be facilitating, either through commission or omission, the movement of cocaine north.
Okay.
And these things are not easy to stop because drug cartels are transnational organizations and they adapt to fit any economic situation. If you'd bomb them boat, then start send submarine. You'd trap them plane, then start send boat. They are constantly adapting to the reality, and that is because they're not supplying cocaine into a vacuum. They're supplying cocaine into a high demand area. So all these things were sent to police in Belize, right? To throughout the region by the Americans. So it would be intelligence from the Colombian Air Force. But all these things right there, that's a Bay of Venezuela. That's a border between Colombia and Venezuela. All these flights would take off from Venezuela. This is, again, 2021 to 2023, when I was receiving this intelligence. And then they'd zag and zig on their way into Central America, trying to deceive the radar. But all of these flights consistently took off from Venezuela. So something was certainly happening there.
Yeah.
But we will have to see what happens next, because I predict the U.S. has gotten into another quagmire of empire. Running a country of 30 million just for the oil is not simple. Oil right now, you wouldn't know it in Belize because our fuel prices remain sky high, but the price per barrel of oil right now is very low, $60. That's the world price. That's considered very low. Taking out Venezuelan oil is not cheap. It's a very heavy crude, right? It has the largest reserves on earth, but it is difficult and costly to extract on a cost-benefit analysis when the world price of oil, which we will again never know in Belize because we're taxed to death, but it is too low to make that a short-term issue. This is an American project. This is a project of empire. Mr. Trump actually spoke about, we're going to get back our oil. That's the language he used. He also said, this is an attack on sovereignty. But he said, we're going to get back our oil. Do you understand the distorted vision when you are seeing another country's resources and you are saying that is our oil, but that is how they have seen it. This is truly the thinking of empire. This entire hemisphere is theirs. That is how they see it.
Yeah.
We note that while the leader of the opposition has put out two statements, I think criticizing U.S. action, the government of Belize, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has not put out any.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Courtney, because I know they do a lot of things through social media.
I have not seen it.
But they have not put out anything, but that is good.
Maybe it was the weekend, Jules.
The weekend, ever.
It happened on a weekend.
It happened on a weekend. No invade per weekend. We busy. We asleep. It is good that they have not, and forgive me for saying, a fool when he's silent is counted as wise.
Yeah.
And so, we don't stand to gain anything. No, Venezuela has been Belize's true friend and ally. They gave us a massive, they loaned us hundreds of millions of dollars through Petrocarib. They gave us a massive discount on the debt when we were trying to pay it back, and we still couldn't pay them. We ended up to pay the oil company. Venezuela has been a true friend of Belize over the past 2 decades in particular.
Yeah, I do think it's like what you mentioned. It's pretty wise that they have not shared a press statement, given something you shared earlier in terms of if the U.S. government could do this to any leader that goes against, the imperialism, then they have to be strategic as to like what they're going to put out in terms of their statement.
I don't know how long it takes to be strategic.
Well, that is true. That is true.
I will say this. If Airmont Coordinator is still foreign minister, we may don't put out a statement to blast them, man.
Yeah.
But we have a different type of leadership, so we have to wait and see what the government of Belize will say. But I will say that the CARICOM statement, which I think I pulled up here just before the show, the CARICOM statement is one of the lamest, sorriest statement. It makes no claims that that this was an illegal action, that this offended international law, that this is naked imperialism. It just said we must need to work together to ensure that there is unity in the people and that the people are protected. BS. Talking loud and saying nothing. Anyway, everybody has to fall in line. The Great Imperium has moved, so we'll continue to monitor it and we'll see what happens as Mr. Maduro goes to court today. Moving on, Courtney.
Belize had a mass shooting and no one can say anything.
Belize had a mass shooting and no one can say anything. We are crippled by incompetence and misgovernance. Forgive me for raising my voice so early in the year. I say this because Barbados had a mass shooting. Happened on Saturday morning at 3 a.m. And guys, I think we have a screenshot of this. Gentlemen, in the folder I gave you, Barbados had a mass shooting and they had a press conference. The Prime Minister and the Commissioner of Police, 10 people shot, none killed, coming off some cruise, some party cruise. They had a press conference at 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday. The Prime Minister, the Commissioner of Police, other government officials. Our Prime Minister and our Commissioner of Police, I dare them to sit before the press, sit in front of the media. I challenge them. I dare them to come to we. Come to the people. We are not the press. We are the interlocutors for the people. I challenge you, sirs. There were 7 people shot in Independence Village on New Year's Eve. 2 persons killed in Pomona on that same night. 1 person killed in Belize City. Terror stalks the land. And the Commissioner of Police will send the very capable staff officer, ASP Stacey Smith. That, sir, is not her responsibility. You, the commissioner, must come forward and have a press conference, which you have not had since August 25th. But you're going on Love FM this morning for profile. Oh, the crime figures look good. Terror stalks the land. The Prime Minister, he couldn't have no press conference. He did a Utah the ski. He in a ski. He in a slope. He in a ski. He can't come. So, they must send an ASP to do a Zoom conference. People need answers. Citizen security continues to be the biggest problem. I don't want to profile all the murder numbers come down by 1. He come down. We beat last year. 92 people being murdered is nothing to celebrate.
Right.
And it's not, whatever number they say, it's wrong. I checked it again this morning. There were 15 persons murdered in November, and only 11 were statisticated. Even if you take out Mr. Montero and the story that you did, Courtney, in Roaring Creek, or Tea Kettle, the 2 gentlemen on the motorcycle, Mr. Sutherland and Mr. Montero.
Who they were run off the road, but the family says they run off the road, but the police were saying it was an accident.
Yes. Even if you take those out, there were still 13 murders in November. I'm sure of the 13. That is indisputable. I have all their names. I was tempted to recite them this morning because 2 of them have been forgotten by the system, or 3 of them. And I suspect it has to do with those killed in that arson murder in San Felipe village. I suspect, I am told those have not been statisticated as murders. Right?
Yeah.
You remember that one, the man?
Yes.
So I'm just saying, I suspect that, and that is diminishing the value of these people's lives to their family. But I can only speak in a vacuum because there's no information, there's no accountability. The commissioner has not faced the press. He has gone on many soft pop interviews, my love. Multiple. I went calling soft pop. We had one opportunity to speak to him. I think we waited almost 3 hours at Raccoon Street and he never
Right,
appeared.
never come.
They told us he would appear.
Yeah.
He never appeared. So we have a mass shooting. And ASP Stacey Smith must go on a Zoom and try to talk about that. That's not fair. That requires the Commissioner of Police and the Prime Minister of Belize. This is a security crisis. Terror stalks the land, but they're oblivious. Skiing time. That departure of the Prime Minister wasn't a long time. I am now acting again as his public relations officer. But I'm just saying, I really find it unacceptable that such serious crime would occur. And there's no sense of, boy, this is serious enough for the commissioner to come forward. No, just make we have a Zoom. Make we have a Zoom with Stacey. No, sir, this is far more serious than that. This is far more serious than that. Bay Vista and Independence are super hot crime zones.
Right.
The commissioner's brother or relative, I believe, is the OC in Bay Vista.
Okay.
We need answers, sir. We need answers. So
Then when they do have the press conference, they might say, 2 questions per media house. You look at this topic, limiting us. They cut off Zoom interview probably before, just close Zoom interview, not.
real.
So is that even like they give you the freedom to ask the questions that you need to ask?
Yeah. It's a very concerning state of affairs. And,
yeah.
and I compared, I don't know if you have the picture of the Barbados thing, guys, but I compared to what happened in Barbados. And I compared to what happened in Barbados. Yeah, so there they are, all the persons in Barbados. On a Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m., they had a press conference. Forgive me. But yeah, so I'm saying we won't see that in Belize because we are not serious about governance. And since we have the folder, I just want to look at the Maduro indictment real quick to show that it's a 2020 indictment, but it says that officials in Honduras, Guatemala, and Mexico were complicit in drugs being shipped through, but no Belize. Respect to that. One bad list we avoided. This is the Maduro indictment. I think we have a close-up of it, but you can read it for me, Kevin.
The transshipment points in Honduras, Guatemala, and Mexico similarly relied on a culture of corruption in which cocaine traffickers operating in those countries paid a portion of their own profits to politicians who protected and aided them. In turn, these politicians used the cocaine-fueled payments to maintain and augment their political power. So too were politicians along the Caribbean route corrupted by cocaine traffickers who would pay them for protection from arrest and to follow favored traffickers to operate with impunity as they traffic cocaine from Venezuela north towards the United States.
No Belize mentioned.
Belize mentioned,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, yeah, and that's indictment. I just wanted to mention that. That's one nasty list we avoided. The indictment was 2020. One never knows who has been corrupted since then. But respect to that. But anyway, we need to move on. Quickly.
Ombudsman never got paid right.
Courtney, you interviewed the ombudsman last week.
Former ombudsman.
Former ombudsman. You know, got no job today. Let us try to analyze and dissect what occurred with our good ombudsman. Was he sent home because he dared to threaten, or to question, the political gods who reign over Belmopan? I believe he was. Now I will say that there is chatter in the government side, that there is and I don't know any specifics, that there is a complaint of some sort against him pending in the system. But I can tell you, I know firsthand, that the ombudsman was not liked in the government because he was, as best as he could under the constraints, doing his job honestly and trying to hold the government to account, which is the job of an ombudsman.
Yeah.
That's what the ombudsman must bring them to their knees. The press must bring them to their knees. They have to, because they are gods. Then they're way up there. We have to try pull them down. They preside over the firmament of governance. They think themselves gods. And we, the press, the ombudsman, the contractor general, the auditor general, must try and bring down the kite. Because they're gone, you know. They're gone. They don't live like we live. They don't think like we think. My point is that I verily believe the ombudsman was given his papers, or was not renewed, whatever, not renewed, and will not be renewed because he dared to offend the gods of Belmopan. I think they will suggest otherwise, and we wait and see what evidence they will bring, but I will say in his favor, and I want to be specific here, we have the law on remuneration. The ombudsman was never, they owed a man money.
Uh-oh.
Or no better find a way to pay the man. The law says, the law of 2011, I think, says that the ombudsman shall receive such emoluments. I think we have a picture of the law, guys. Such emoluments will be subject to other terms of service as may from time to time be prescribed, Such emoluments being not less than the emoluments which may from time to time be payable to a judge of the Supreme Court. The judges of the Supreme Court make 180,000, 210,000. The ombudsman never made a broke even 100. Then got changed for that man. But the ombudsman is from Dangriga.
Oh.
The judges, the Caribbean judges, they come from Jamaica and Guyana. They come from high places in the Caribbean. They do not come from the place of the drums. So he can't expect to get paid. You the from Dangriga boy. You can't expect to get paid like that good lady from Guyana. You can't get paid like that. You're from Grigor, not Guyana. That is a story that has to be told. Why was the ombudsman, and I suppose his predecessor as well, not compensated? But I should say not his predecessor because it is under this government that the salary to all judges was increased to make them more independent, all these things, to make the judiciary better. All right. Do it for the ombudsman. They did not. He wrote many times to complain.
Yeah.
They're not paying no man because they know they do his job right. His job is to protect, not the people, not how them perverts see it. They're political perverts. They're perverts of democracy. Every time you meet them, they want to tell you how to use your democracy. A village can't have a referendum. That law have to change. Everything they want to change that gives the people access to any kind of power. No. That's not right. Nobody should question the gods. Like flies are we to wanton boys. Like flies to wanton boys are we. They kill us for their sport. That is what they do.
So what does that mean that there's no ombudsman now? Like,
There's no
ombudsman.
Perfect! Perfect! We find a proper PUP. No advertising for ombudsman. First prerequisite, are you a good PUP? Mr. Swazo was, or we thought he was. That may a former PUP mayor. But he never do his job right. We need a proper card-carrying member of the ruling party because PUP and UDP then are saying bogus nonsense.
So the office remains open, but only the ombudsman could only he could pass on the decision. It's his decision. But the office, so you could still lodge a complaint. It just not going nowhere. It went backlog until they appoint a new ombudsman who could be the only one, who's the only one who could say, this is my decision.
I understand.
Yeah.
But in terms of like what's next? You know,
Nobody cares what's next. Dembele try find on PUP. Find on good PUP who could hold a spot with a modicum of credibility. And then we can move forward properly. The ombudsman was sent home because he told the attorney general, well, you could only recommend because they're gods. He recommended to the attorney general, show the people there how their money is spent to protect the corrupt electoral system where one the pervert for the past 40 years. Show them how much you spend to protect it with taxpayers' money to protect the illegal, unconstitutional voters list. Show them how much you spend. Just show them. No, but that's CCLLP. Nothing can be seen. Courtney Coy LLP, you can't see for their fees. No, sir, that's not for you. That's for the FinSec, for his eyes only. Ridiculous.
we
Sorry, forgive
yeah,
me.
definitely is something to be worried about that there's no ombudsman.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
but Jules,
Move-
now let's talk about there's no succession planning in police.
You know, we have received reports, and I've been hearing them for over a month, that I think they have DCP, he's a deputy commissioner, Alden Dawson, the other gentleman from Special Branch, Mr. Villanueva. They want to give them contracts. It's being contemplated at the high levels of government. This is a department of 3,000 persons. You mean that in all of them 3,000, in all this top-heavy administrative, this top-heavy high command, senior command don't have, there's no succession. Nobody can take for their job. Alden Dawson and Jorge Villanueva are so special, so irreplaceable, so indispensable, that they will have to become, or it's being contemplated, that they will become contract officers. What a thing.
Yeah.
We have, very rarely have I seen senior officers not go to retirement and instead become contract officers. And I say this because whenever you start seeing contract officers in these unusual settings, it makes you say, well, who is making them a contract officer? The government of the day. Well, we know the government of the day only likes one thing, political perversion. Any government of the day, once they want to keep you wrong, it's because they don't feel threatened by you. I will say it at the best. They don't feel you're a threat. And all of us have to do our job as citizens to constantly challenge their authority.
Yeah.
I understand when you're a public officer, it's hard to do, but I'm just saying I am concerned that at that senior level, they would be thinking of that. I mean, we already have a special advisor, Mr. Guzman, to the ministry.
Yeah.
Now that and it was my failure not to ask the question, but Admiral Bennett,
Does he need a special advisor?
he went to the finest military schools in the world. He does not need a special advisor.
Former Minister Karim, he said that it wasn't just for the CEO, it was for the whole...
For the whole ministry.
Yeah.
Well, we have a security expert now running
We do.
Right.
the ministry.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're going to do with Mr. Guzman, and I have no personal animus against Mr. Guzman. But he's there because he's politically favored. And I think Mr. Mira favors him as well. And so I want to wait and see if they will also renew Mr. Guzman's contract. Mr. Musa had said it would not be, but there's a new game in town, and I think Mr. Guzman has some political clout in Belmopan constituency. Just my intelligence. We have to wait and see, but certainly we don't need an advisor now. We have a highly trained person. Moving on, we're running out of time.
2025.
I think I just want to mention
Let's
that
talk about the dysfunctional public
Oh,
service.
yes.
dysfunctional, and I mentioned it in the view of the succession thing. You know, as I think, Courtney, and there are so many in your generation that you know, who, they go and study, and then we complain so much about our young people leaving or going to other countries, because how can they come back to a political system that is a public administration system that is so politically distorted?
Yeah.
It's very hard to work in a public service if you are not PUP when PUP is in or UDP when UDP is in. And really, the most corrupting influence, I believe, on the public service is this strange creature called the CEO. The CEO is a political appointee. This was started during the Musa years, early 2000, the neoliberal years. And it was seen as a way to make the political promise more deliverable, right? To align the political directorate and the public service. In the past, you had a thing called permanent secretaries who were professional public officers.
And who the PUP had promised to bring back in Plan Belize 1.0.
They sure did. But they can't bring it back because the CEOs are all our besties, all our politically favored people, all our people who can't get no job except the one day. You think when PUP win, they're going to hire them when PUP lose or UDP lose, you see any of them going to work for run any bank or any big insurance company or any big enterprise? No, because they are unemployable. Only in the government of Belize can these PUDP perverts find employment. There are a few of them who are genuine PhDs, whatever, and they can find work. But the majority, the super majority, the 99% of CEOs are political perverts, political prostitutes who are brought in by the political pimps to run the public service. So we get back to the point. How you expect any young person to come in at this Babylon system that will not perpetuate, bringing in the CEOs? The public service is already a post-colonial mess. The public service regulations are a post-colonial or a colonialistic, how they're designed, are colonialistic. Then to bring in the CEOs as a kind of neoliberalistic fix to this system was the ultimate perversion of the public service system, which was already dysfunctional. But they turned it from dysfunctional to non-functional, and then they complain. It's not only the politicians who corrupt. The public officers ain't corrupt too. Amen. Because of the system we set up. Because we bringing political perverts to run the system. I don't know, get them one raise last year. One raise, who validated that? CAPSEC, 18%. None of them who can't get no job. Tomorrow PUP lose. None of them will be employed in a year. All of them just going panelly savings. Whatever they manage to put aside after the enterprise of politics. I am just saying, we have to understand this for what it is. Our public service is in a distorted and demented state because of the perverse influence of politically appointed, politically manipulated, politically servile CEOs who have been the ultimate distortion of the public affairs of the country and the public service of the country. It's a very sad state. PUP will never bring back the CEOs. Well, they'll never do most of what they promise.
Yeah.
That's how politicians are.
And it's also unwell, according to the ombudsman, you know, like in terms of like acknowledging mental health and all these health situations that public officers are going through. There's no acknowledgement of it. Treat them as...
or putting in any recommendations that he made during his times.
There is so much alcoholism and social violence. And I mean, I'm talking about domestic violence and other kinds of violence. There's so much alcoholism and social violence attributable to the distorted state of how the public service of this country is run. And at the headwaters of the dysfunction are the CEOs. The CEO system is broken. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be retired. Bring back the CEOs. Now, I know I was around when CEOs were running things. That I never no joke either because they were politically favored persons as well.
Permanent secretaries.
Yes, sorry.
Permanent secretary.
Bring back permanent secretaries, my bad.
Yeah.
But I am saying how that system was highly political as well. I was very aware that That was that was not heaven on earth. That was no nirvana, but it is far better than having the system run by political pervs. Anyway, last I'll say on that.
Last one. 2025, a tumultuous year. Was the DPP the only official who spoke the truth?
Courtney, you and I went through so many stories for our year in review. And, you know, it was a very big year in news. We had an election. We had protests. They raised a pay they demanded. We had the hijacking. We had the corruption of the security contracts exposed after that. Other corruption exposed. We had the Budna abduction. We had the bomb exploding in Orange Walk. A lot of very big, unfortunate stories. But when I reviewed it on this Budna thing, you know what amazes me? Not one official has spoken the truth, except for the DPP. And that's why I make a point just to big her up. Because sometimes you feel you to go crazy. Because Kareem Musa was truth adjacent. And he play on his silly role. Yeah, I want to release a video when he knows what the deal is. But at least he said that. But none of them, not a single one of our esteemed public officials, not the commissioner, not the deputy commissioner, not the assistant commissioner, not the prime minister, none of them could just say a crime happened. And I want to, if we can, hear that bite from the DPP. She was the only official who said, a crime clearly happened. I mean, all of us can see it, and it makes you start to say, am I crazy? Is this not a crime? Abducting a citizen? Yes, whatever the prime minister can vilify him how he wants. You know, he loves saying he's a monster. Prime Minister, we are surrounded by monsters. You personally are surrounded by monsters. Right? I mean, come on, bro. Be real.
Yeah.
You know, like a monster, if you're a monster as determined by Prime Minister, you don't deserve the same rights as citizens. I just want to play back because of all the verbiage and the garbage said by public officials this year. The DPP was stellar. She was the only person who spoke the truth, who said the file has less than nothing. It's the truth. The Prime Minister was disappointed by it, but he's disappointed by anything that doesn't fall into his very distorted worldview. So, Victor, are you able to play that for me when her interview where she said that what clearly happened in the Budna case? Can we play that, guys? Are you operating on the clear conclusion that obviously a crime was committed in plain view on that night?
Obviously, a crime has been committed. I don't believe there is any doubt in relation to whether or not a crime has been committed. A Belizean citizen was in Belize. He is now in a Guatemalan prison. It was not his intention to go to that Guatemalan prison, and he has spoken, and he has said what happened to him. A crime has been committed. What we need to confirm beyond a reasonable doubt is who was involved in that crime. Not just the actors, as in the ones who detained him against his will, but why did they do it? Where did the instruction come from, or how did the plan originate to do it? This is what we have to look at.
But if we know who did it, why can't they be arrested and charged?
You seem to know who did it, Jules.
He's identified someone. That person was put on interdiction. The acting commissioner took it seriously enough.
So, as I said earlier, I need to have it within the four corners of my file.
The only lucid statement, a Belizean citizen was in Belize, and now he's in a Guatemalan jail. He didn't ask to go there. It's as simple as that. The Prime Minister in his last interview on Channel 5 said, on Open Your Eyes, I think, said, a crime could have happened.
He did say that.
I mean, come on, Breds. A crime happened, Breds.
Yeah.
A crime happened. A crime happened. So I have to commend and I have to say that we're living in a really messed up time when the DPP is the only person in the whole of last year who just confronted the issue head on and said a crime has been committed. She also said that we have our job to do. The only person who said that the press has its job to do. We're doing our job by constantly trying to get to the bottom of this, by constantly exposing it. Because the politicians don't want us to do our job. And that's good inspiration. Once they don't want you to do something, that means that you're doing the right thing.
right.
Anything the politicians say you shouldn't be doing, you're doing it right. Because they have no interest in our country. They have interest in maximizing their enterprises that run parallel to the government, parallel but underground. Big up to the DBB. I just want to mention we're done. So this year, I think that the government, I had said it in December, it didn't happen, and so I was wrong. But I really think that there is urgency to bring this BTL smart acquisition to a head this year, and it will involve the cable companies, and it will be well over $150 million. And I really think there's urgency to do it. I heard they had a big meeting in Orange Walk yesterday. I don't know. I saw some big players moving through Orange Walk yesterday in a white Lexus. People with various interests in telecom and cable, sitting it seemed to be almost in the same vehicle in Orange Walk. So I don't know. But I think they want that to happen urgently. Mr. Ashcroft definitely wants it to happen urgently. So we have to watch that. And one more thing I will say, I don't bring this up lightly. I had received intelligence or information over the Christmas that there was a credible threat on the safety of a public official, of an elected official in the North.
Wow.
And police got excellent intelligence, and they were able to arrest certain people affiliated with Belize City gangs. But I have to say it because I believe this whole free zone business has left a lot of bad blood and a lot of bad money. Man, they lost money. And I think there was a credible threat on the safety of an official based on that. I'm very glad that whatever was supposed to happen did not happen, that police were able to thwart it. But I think 2026 will be a difficult year for the Briceño administration. I think everyone knows and accepts this. There are multiple revelations, I think, which will come forward. I don't know what they are, but I know that many people in the government are feeling like they're sitting on a keg of dynamite, which could explode at any time. But that's something we have to watch. This free zone business has a lot of, in Creole they say, afterclaps. It has a lot of aftershocks, right? They tried to kill Mr. Bukshani last year. They tried to kill Mr. Vela last year. These are big figures in the zone, and there are repercussions for that. So we'll be watching it. I've taken up too much time. Please, send me home. Send me home.
All right, Jules. Thank you so much for the first serving of the beef for 2026.
Hopefully it'll last for this month. Thank you for your time.
With that, we're going to go to our sunrise, and this is courtesy of Charlotte Gentle. We're going to cue in that. Charlotte, thank you so much for submitting your sunrise. And to let you know that today we're going to be having conversations with Inner Peace Financials, talking about budgeting in the new year, and of course with Cellular World and what deals you can expect. With that, we go into our first commercial break. We're back.
Sunrise?
Yeah.
That don't look like Belize. Are Belize guys?
It's California.
California, yeah, all right.
Sacramento, yeah.
All right. The capital of California. Yeah, all right.
All right, guys, first commercial break, and we're back. We have a great conversation about budgeting for the new year. Stay tuned.
roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sheree Culsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight.
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening with your news and the bureaucrat.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
back to our family. We hope you enjoyed the first serving of beef for 2026. I think that was a pretty well cooked, beef. And so we'll jump into our first conversation, or so I guess our second conversation for the morning. For most people, the new year officially starts today. Like last week never count. The first, second, that never count. Today, the first Monday is when it starts. So if you've been spending like crazy the first 4 days, that's okay. We're gonna start budgeting today, and we have help from Nicolene Raymond, the founder of Inner Peace Financials. Nicolene, how are you doing today?
Thanks, and you're good.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Hi, Nicolene. Good morning. It's a pleasure having this
Hi.
conversation with you. As always,
Yes,
we bring you around this time of the year, and there's so many people starting with New Year's resolutions, and one of the things is improve their finances. So let's get started with the conversation, and I feel like one of the big things that we can start with is defining what does budgeting mean.
Well, budgeting is a way of understanding your finances. It's looking at how much money you're making and where you're actually spending your money. It's also a part of understanding what's important to you, because you create a budget because there are certain goals you might want to meet. There might be certain things you want to be able to do throughout the year, or a particular lifestyle that you would want to live. So it's just setting up a system that allows you to track your income, track your expenses, and then start living the life that you really want to live.
Right. And I think a lot of people struggle with budgeting, with especially with taking out money for or separating their necessities from the money that they're spending on, things that they don't necessarily need. So, why is it important that we learn how to properly budget? It's more than just taking a note of what you're spending, but just to learn how to separate your money into these different categories.
Well, it's important because we want to live. We want to live a particular lifestyle. We want to be able to do things, have certain experiences. And it's really just allocating and understanding that for any move that you want to make, anything that you want to do, it has some type of money attachment to it. You'll have to spend some money. You'd have to be able to put monies in the areas that are most important to you. And so setting up a system that really helps you to live your life, like I mentioned earlier, it's very important. Your budget isn't supposed to be too restrictive. What should be your restrictions are your goals, the things that you want to achieve throughout a particular month or throughout a year. And then you allot your finances and your money to help you achieve those things that you really, really want.
Nicolene, one thing that I am appreciating from what you've shared so far is how important budgeting is important in achieving all these resolutions that people are coming up for the new year. You're saying it's part of you reaching your goals that you have intended, right? And I say this because people would put budgeting as an activity separate from going to the gym or going, I don't know, like getting healthier or doing this, doing that. But finances are very important for all of these things to take place, right? So like, how can you help people to see how budgeting can be integrated into every aspect of what you want to achieve? Because I feel like that's the thing here. It's not something separate. It's part of the entire process of going through your resolutions and achieving them, aren't they?
Yes, most definitely they are. So the first thing that you will want to be able to do is to lay out those things that are important to you for this year. You could even consider for the next 3 months. But for this year, if let's say you want to work on your health, you want to join a gym, you want to start eating healthier, that would mean going to the market, buying more fruits and veggies. Whatever it is that's important to you, you want to spend time with your family, just lay out those 3 areas that you want to be able to divert monies to, and then do an estimation about how much you think it would cost. So the first step is definitely identify your priorities, start planning, and then you want to look at your income and those expenses that would relate to the things that you would want to achieve. Then your income comes in. And because we're starting off the year, I would like to really advise everyone to not only consider what your income is or your expenses will be, but start looking at how much you have in the bank right now. Check your bank accounts, check your credit union accounts, understand what those balances are that you're starting the year with, and then come back to how much it would cost for you to do those 3 goals or achieve those 3 goals, that you would want to achieve for the year. So, in essence, the first two, planning and then evaluating what your income would be and your expenses are, those are the most important two things you could start doing right now.
I like to also think, like, so like going and checking your bank account gives you like this reality check of like, okay, this is where I am, this is what I can do with what I have. I also feel that we can be ambitious with our budget, right? In saying, the quality of life that I'm living right now is good, but I want to improve and have a better quality of life. So
Yes, level up.
how,
Yes.
yeah, so like how does budgeting help you level up? Because maybe you might say, hey, I have $1,000 in my bank account now, but what I want to do requires me to have $3,000 in my bank account, right? So like, how does budgeting help you to level up?
Well, the thing about having your goals and understanding that if you have 1,000 now and you need three, you start asking yourself, how can I earn this extra 2,000? Or you know what? Let's go to five. How can I earn this extra $5,000? And the minute that you start asking yourself and getting that into your mindset, something magical happens and your brain says, oh, I know how we could do this. And then you start to actively push towards your particular goal. But the first thing is to identify that you do want to level up. You do want a better way to live. You do want to have more money. And in something instinctively inside of us says, let's go, let's do this. And so we start taking action. We find things to sell, we find skills that we perhaps didn't realize we had, and we start monetizing them. So your budget allows you to say, this is what I would want, even if it's more than I have right now. And then you can plan and act accordingly.
Right. For a lot of people too, the way a lot of people in Belize, a lot of them, their expenses are higher than their income. And, a lot of people struggle with, basic necessities. What am I going to eat today? How am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to pay for their education? Things like that. If you're in that situation where your expenses are that high and your income is just barely managing to cover all of this, what is the first step you need to take to be able to get it more aligned?
The first thing you would want to do is to take a look back to what you have been spending on over the past week, the past 2 weeks, the past month. Like, try to understand where exactly your money is going. Is it going towards things that you really need to cover? Is it things that you're buying? Perhaps you want to achieve a particular feeling, but you have to buy something to get it. Go over each one of your expenses, track them, understand where exactly it is they're going. And I could guarantee you, the minute you start doing that, you'll be able to identify places where you can see your money might not need to go. You might not need to spend that much on, right? So most definitely, that's the first step. Once you have identified where you have your money going, you want to be able to assess, like, can you negotiate certain terms? Can you ask for a discount in particular items? Because the idea is not only to make money, but it's to keep some that you're already earning. So the first step, definitely track where your money is going, identify where you really and truly need it to go. Because when you're really challenged by the amount of money that you have to be very particular with what exactly that you're spending on until you're able to spend freely beyond, right?
Yeah, I mean that reality check is very important. And hi to your child that's also joining you via Zoom. That's so cute. Yeah, so like there's a phrase that people would often share, which is to live below your means. What do you think about that phrase? How realistic it is, or is it an advice that you give people? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, that's always an important concept to consider when you're looking at money. Try to save or not spend all that you make. So living below your means is understanding what your essentials are, what your basics are, and then covering those with your income. And if there are certain things that you want to consider, perhaps luxury or just you want to be able to enjoy maybe a soda every so often, whatever it is. You want to, allow yourself to have that still, but living below your means would most definitely be important to consider. And it's not necessarily living below your means, maybe your whole life, every single day. Perhaps you have a goal to, take a particular trip, or having a particular amount of money to put down on a new house or something like that. It's just establishing that for a period of time, maybe 2 or 3 months or maybe 6 months, you would most definitely want to spend less, much more less than you earn, so that you can do something greater in the future. So it's a bit of understanding that you could apply what's considered to be like delayed gratification, so that you can live a better life in the future.
Okay, so Nicola, my next question is, so we talked about, doing this personal check as to like, what are your goals? What's your present finances? In terms of like coming up with a budget and your plan for the year or for like 3 months. But what external things must someone consider when budgeting? For instance, I'm thinking about this Venezuela, potential Venezuela war, right? And I can definitely see that this is gonna cause some kind of financial constraint one way or another. So whenever somebody's budgeting, what external factors must be taken into account for us to do our preparation?
Well, the first thing you want to do is take a pen and a pencil, spend about 5 minutes and just go to town, writing down everything that you know you need to spend on. If it's your rent, your mortgage, you have transportation costs for your vehicle, insurance, license. If you want to be able to, buy something for a birthday, just go to town and start writing down every single thing that you know that you normally spend on, and put a dollar figure to it. And I'm talking about everything: clothing, groceries, water, every single thing, right? That's the first step. You could start with that.
Okay.
That will give you an idea of what you spend on monthly. And you could add an additional, I don't know, 5%, 10% on that figure, just so that you know what that monthly figure is. A big part of budgeting and understanding your money is knowing your numbers. So your expenses, that's the first number you must know. How much are you spending every month? The next number that you need to know is your income. How much are you making? And if you're in an industry where you don't have a set salary, then you want to be able to determine how much you normally make within a month, or how much you think you're going to be making in the month of January, or over the next 3 months. So that's the first thing. And then doing the maths, subtracting your expenses from your income to see what you would be able to have, right? And a part of what you want to always be able to do is to save a portion of it, even if it's $5, even if it's $10. You want to be able to putting some monies aside so that you have room, and then you're also building up some bit of an emergency fund just in case something happens. So that would be the main steps in terms of starting your budget. Write down your expenses, just spend 15 minutes doing that, then tracking your income, understanding your income, doing the maths so that you can understand how much money you would need every single month to move forward. And then you go out and you figure, if I shop at a particular grocery store, I get to pay less than if I go to another grocery store. So these are some of the moves and the changes that you want to be able to make.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
And so if you've already had a budget, and you had a budget that you've been following for maybe a number of years, and you've been able to save and gotten to or accomplish some of the financial goals that you set for yourself, how often then in that case does that mean that you update your budget, you allow more space for buying things that you don't necessarily need? How often should you keep your budget updated?
Well, if you already have a budget, that's excellent. I'm going to say that you are 80% on your way to achieving all your goals and to just living a very beautiful life. Because then you understand that the system works. And so, yes, you want to be able to understand what your budget is, what are your new goals, and this is where you level up. You go higher, you go further, you go beyond, you dream bigger, and then you start to allocate the funds to those new dreams and those new goals, right? So yes, pull it out. Now is the time. You can consider what what your next 3 months between January and March, your expenses would be, perhaps what you want to do over the next year 2026, or maybe even into 2027. You might want to take a grand European tour or something like that. But just level up and start telling your money where you need it to go, instead of really asking where it went or what happened to it, right? So definitely you are well on your way if you have a budget. It's just to go back over your system, update it, and make sure that it still meets the lifestyle that you're living now and that you would want to live over the next year.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah. So now let's talk about you and your business, which is Inner Peace Financials. For anyone that is hearing this conversation, has grabbed some tips, but would like further advice or guidance into budgeting, what services do you have available for them to benefit from to improve their finances?
Well, thank you so much for asking. So last year we launched two financial wellness series, and I think we're going to do an additional two more this year, as well as adding on one-on-one coaching and one-on-one consulting. And so I can be found on Facebook. I'm on the internet. You can find me on my website, Inner Peace Financials, as well as my number is 614-5728. You could reach out to me or be prepared to join one of our series, because within those series we actually spend a minimum.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we are unable to hear you at the moment, Nicolin. There seems to have been a technical error from our end. Can we try once more? Okay. Okay, we're working on that. But
Right.
Courtney, what are some of the takeaways that you've gotten so far from the conversation with Nicolin?
I think the whole living below your means is like, I think that's at the center point. Like, a lot of people, we say, okay, we have this amount of money, so we should spend this amount of money. But even if you have a stable job, a stable income, you still need to make sure that you have that budget in place. I'm not a person who, it's hard for me to budget. It's hard for me to keep track because I always forget. And I always forget to input what I'm spending, so I don't keep track of it. But then you look at your finances, you're like, where did everything go? And you don't realize how much the things add up. So I think it's important that no matter where you are in life, that you have a certain budget. I know there's this very popular budgeting method where it's like 60-20-20, where it's like 60% for your necessities, 20% goes into your savings, and 20% is guilt-free spending. So that was like something that I've been reading up on.
Okay.
Right. So I just think I do think I need to budget better for this year. I don't spend like crazy, right? But I would like to know where my money is going. I like what she said, you tell your money where to go, as opposed to it telling you what it's being spent on. You make the decision, and you make the where it goes.
Okay, definitely. I like that, where you realize the power that you have, right, in directing it. Nicolin, seems like we've fixed our technical error. So if we can resume where you left off as we were talking about budgeting.
Well, I was saying that, first of all, let me just congratulate you for having a budget and using a system. It's very important to know that it's an invaluable tool. I mean, money is such a big part of our life. But I was saying that I could be found on the internet. I have a website as well as Facebook and other social media platforms. So I could most definitely be reached there. I'm not certain what part you didn't hear.
Yeah. So no, we did get that part, and we thank you so much. One of the things that you mentioned was financial wellness. And it's a very uncommon term for in conversations. What do you mean by financial wellness?
Well, financial wellness is pretty much similar to your health wellness, your social wellness, ensuring that with these areas of your life, when it comes to your health, that you are well enough, you have strength, vitality, energy, and you're pretty much well. That's covered in terms of your health. And when it comes to your social wellness, you want to consider your interactions with family and friends and everything else, right? Ensuring that you are developing that social aspect of your life. And so financial wellness then is all about ensuring that when it comes to your money, you are earning enough to live a particular lifestyle. You're comfortable. You can afford all the things that you need. Some of, or if not all, the things that you want, because it's really considering then the money that you have in your life, the lifestyle that you want to live, as well as what you can do to continue to advance and live a very comfortable life. I think, in essence, that's what we would want to be able to do, right? Life should be peaceful, and understanding your finances really allows you to come to a place of peace in terms of your mind and your overall life.
I like that. Corinne, do you have any last questions for Nicolin?
You know, I really appreciate that last part of the conversation, especially because I think that a lot of people, one of their main stress in life is financially. And I think that people don't realize when you have that weighing in your mind so much, how much that affects your physical health. And every morning you wake up and you think about money, and every time you go to sleep, you think about money. It's so incredibly stressful. But so I wanted to ask though, for people who have never had a budget before, do you have a beginner program where they can, just get started on how to manage the money that they're making?
That's a great question.
Yes, so within our series, we do start off from the basics. We start off from scratch. It's understanding the overarching system, the overall system, yes, but also the key components of your budget, your income, your expenses, your goals, right? These are just really the three key areas of developing a budget. Once you know what it is that you want to achieve through your goals, then we start to look at how much you're making now, what you're spending on, and if you need to increase your income, which is also a very important part to consider, ensuring that you are increasing your income because the cost of living is increasing.
Yeah.
So you have to consider how you can make more money over a period of time. So the series definitely entails a beginner aspect of it, intermediate, and then we also have a component or some time to look at those who are advanced budgeters, persons who are interested in investing, which is, again, that's beyond the basics of budgeting.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nicolin, for taking the time to join us on Sunup on 7 this morning to give some helpful advice on how to be financially well. And I like the aspect of and your contribution, Courtney, as how once you're financially well, your quality of life improves. And also by how budgeting helps you to level up. I really like that because it gives us a good assessment of where we are now, what are our goals, and how can we get there.
Right.
And as you mentioned, it's interesting that once you set yourself on these goals, magic happens that in one way or another, you're going to be figuring it out.
Yeah.
So the conversation with you has been very helpful. Definitely, we're going to share on our social media platforms the links to your business for people to have access to the different modules and programs that they have available for budgeting. And as we wrap up, do you have any last words to share with our viewers?
Well, I just wanted to note that our life really should be about progressing and advancing. I think that's where we find true happiness. And when we consider that our goals allow us to move beyond where we are right now, that's progressing. And it does take money, it does take finances to be moving forward in life. And so please, I want to encourage everyone to spend some time looking at your money right now in January. And this is the 5th. I think someone mentioned that this is when the year actually starts.
Courtney did.
Take some time, take some time right now and go over that so that you can lay the foundation for perhaps a more smoother life, or at least a life where you're more clear about the things that you want and the money that you have or would need to have those experiences for this year. So thanks so much for the opportunity, and all the best to the new year for everyone.
Very well. Thank you so much, Nicolin. All the best for you in the new year to have a prosperous one, a healthy one, a love-filled one, and we look forward to a future conversation with you. With that, folks, we go into our next commercial break. When we're back, we have a great conversation with Cellular World and what deals they have available this time around. Stay tuned.
Hi, Hi, have you heard about the expungement of criminal records? Well, as of August 1st, 2024, the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act allows for you to apply to have certain criminal charges permanently erased from your record. Isn't that amazing? So, what makes you eligible to apply for expungement? The offense must qualify for expungement based on Schedule 2 and 3 of the law. You must meet the applicable rehabilitation period. This is the time period you must wait before you can apply. The applicant must not have any outstanding matters or have had any other convictions during the rehabilitation period. You can qualify for automatic expungement for certain first-time drug offenses, as well as COVID-related offenses. So, what are the benefits of expungement? Well, it broadens employment and educational opportunities that a criminal record would normally hinder. It gives you a peace of mind away from the stigma of having a criminal conviction and provides you with access to services that may be otherwise restricted. If you have a past criminal conviction, here's what you can do to get it expunged. First, verify if you qualify for expungement. Then, prepare the application package. Each package consists of 2 forms. Applications are available countrywide. You then make a non-refundable payment of $100 at your nearest Treasury Department and finally submit the package and payment receipt to any Ministry of Human Development office countrywide. Note, applicants will receive a notification within 90 days to see if their application was approved or denied. So, if you are interested, visit any Human Development office countrywide, any magistrate court, or the Ministry of Home Affairs office in Belmopan. For more information, you can call 227-2716 or you can WhatsApp 613-0343.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Culsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Nadir Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corzal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Good morning, my Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. Thank you so much for joining Courtney and our guest that come to today's episode. Just before the commercial break, we were talking about budgeting and some helpful advices as to how can you improve your financial wellness. Move on to our next conversation, and we have Fernando Santos joining us, our friend from Cellular World, as we talk about Jumpstart January and what deals we can expect this month. Fernando, it's good to have you on the first Monday of the new year on Sunup on 7. How is your energy today?
Excellent. We're looking forward for an excellent year as well, and to, as we say in Cellular World, jumpstart the 2026 with a great January, so that people can get all of the business deals that will align with their budget for the coming year. And that's what we are trying to bring: the best technology, always at the best price.
I like that. Definitely. So like it falls right in line with the previous conversation, right? As regards to like budgeting and getting these things to like affordable deals. So where do you want to get started and what deals are available this month?
Well, it is true that it's very important to keep up with a budget, and we know how important it is for this season to plan out our goals, and that's what we want to give the opportunity for everybody to plan out their goals, what is that they want to achieve for themselves, if they are having goals for their academic life, for their professional life, for their personal life. All we can help with our products is making them more accessible right now, always with our layaway plans as well, so that they can get them throughout the month of January. But the important thing is that now you can get the technology that you want at the best price. For example, if you're a student that is looking forward to get the best grades right now, we can get a laptop starting for only $549 that will get you anywhere that you want and ensure that your education does not get stopped by high prices. And as well, we have our discounts on all of our segments, from phones to TVs, speakers, and appliances as well.
You know, like for the people that are thinking about how can I have like a healthier eating habit, I think about the refrigerator and the AI tool that it has that helps you to like see what's in your fridge, right?
Exactly.
And prepare a healthy meal with that.
Exactly. You go into your fridge, you open the Samsung Food app, and it tells you, okay, the camera has detected that you have apples, that you have in here so much ingredients. You can make this new recipe, try to be a more creative chef for this year, and it aligns with your goals. Stay healthy, stay on budget, all of it with the technology that you can find at Cellular World with the 1-year warranty on Samsung and products and many, many more.
Definitely.
So that's right. We have the products for all of the goals that you want to achieve this year. If you're also perhaps a little bit shy and you want to become more social, you can get a great JBL speaker to start hosting more parties.
I like that.
That's right.
That's a good one. Yeah.
For only $199, you can get a very portable speaker from JBL that comes with a 1-year warranty and amazing sound for all of your events, and become the person that you want to be, because it takes a little bit of effort to get out of our comfort zone, and now you can do it looking great with the best technology.
Yeah.
Right. So what about people who maybe weren't able to get in on some of the deals because I know you had your anniversary in November, and then you had the Christmas special. People who weren't able to get in on those but were eyeing some appliances, are some of those same things, can they get it for this Jumpstart January?
That's right. We're sharing all of our deals on appliances as well that come with 1-year warranty, and they can get still the best deals on all of our products. And if you're looking also for any technology that you haven't seen on our social media, we're still sharing all of the promotions right now. Stay tuned to all of our social media on Facebook and Instagram, so that you can learn what are the deals that we're sharing on the products that you have been looking forward. And as well, it's very important to know that you can also access the layaway plans so that you can begin on 25% down payment at the beginning of the month. And throughout 8 to 16 weeks, you can make payments so that at the end of it, you can receive your product and it doesn't get you out of your budget. It's a very important season right now. We have spent a lot of money on all of our gifts for Christmas. But that doesn't mean that we can't get the technology that we need. And that's the important part.
Right. I like that. And then this ends at the end of January?
That's right. We're having our promotion throughout the whole month of January. So if you're looking for personal technology, appliances for your home, or as well for your business, we have the best prices on all of our sections so that this year can begin as well as you want.
Do you have any other product that you would like to highlight?
Yes, definitely. We have our tablets from Samsung and Apple that are coming at a very great price. They are both the best technology in tablets to keep your productivity, your creativity, and all the goals that you have been looking forward to accomplish this year at the best price. You know, for only $9.99, you can get a tablet with 11 inches screen and the best technology from Samsung, and the Apple latest iPad that came out last year. You can get it also for $10.99, and I think those make great companions for all of the tasks that you want to do this year. And as well, if you already went through the Christmas season and you notice that the TV is not performing as well as you wanted, you can upgrade to a new Samsung QLED and TCL with the best technology right now at Cellular World, getting all of your products in one single place. And as well, you can always visit us in all of our stores. We are open in Belize City, Orange Walk, San Pedro, and Belmopan, so that you can get all of these deals right now.
Is there like any pop-ups people should be looking out for this month?
Yes, we will be sharing our dates for pop-up shops, so stay tuned because we're going very strong to Corozal and to Bellavista and Punta Gorda, bringing all of these deals up north and down south so that everybody gets to enjoy this Jumpstart January.
I love to hear that.
And, you know, we're coming off, like I said, off the December promotions. How was that for you guys?
Yes, it was an amazing time to see everybody getting the products that they wanted, the TVs, especially to spend time together as in their families. Everybody who wanted to get a new TV all the way from 32 inches to 85 inches. It was amazing seeing everybody taking the big TVs home because that means that it's more experiences together that we are creating because we're bringing the best prices and the best technology as well. Now that the people have tried what is to have a new Samsung QLED or a Samsung Crystal UHD TV at home. Now we're inviting people to try the rest of the ecosystem that you can get at Cellular World. Because when you combine the best technology in every single aspect of your life, it becomes easier to get the things that you want done more efficiently.
That is true. And I can see where if you get like Samsung devices, you can control it from an app, right?
Yes.
And I think that's like a pretty cool way of like living in, you know, your phone, you manage your fridge, your washing machine, your television.
Especially if you left it on by mistake and then you go and
Yeah.
Exactly. So in 2026, it's easier than ever to go throughout your day. You can connect your washing machine to schedule when you want your clothes to be washed. Or if you forgot, maybe you just put it in the washer but didn't turn it on. With a Samsung washer, you can get up to 24 loads of detergent and softener already put into the machine, and just turn it on from anywhere that you have a connection. And if, for example, your kids come from school and they need something done, you can also program your stove, your microwave, your fridge. Everything works together to make your life easier with Samsung and Cellular World.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's very like...
Right. Well, I could vouch because I get my watch from.
All right. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
so
beautiful.
I can vouch.
Well, it looks amazing. It's definitely
it's beautiful.
a good choice.
Yes.
I got it for my running.
Excellent. No, and exactly. We have a lot of goals that we want to meet. And the best time to do it is from the beginning of the year. January is here to allow us to jumpstart this 2026. And we want to make sure that the technology that you get works best for you.
Very good. Fernando, is there anything that we missed that you feel is important for us to highlight?
Well, I would just want to invite everybody to follow us on our social media, and as well, if you want to reach out and contact us for any questions that you have, you can WhatsApp us at 615-5141 and send us all your questions. Make sure that we can find the best product for you at the best price.
Very good. Fernando, we thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to our next conversation with you because Sewell always has great deals
Yeah, I
and
think
always
about the
great products.
Valentine's promotion I have next month.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's going to be cute.
And we won't even have to wait until February. We are still going to be bringing more surprises this January because the Samsung Week is still coming, and it's going to be amazing.
All right. So we look forward to those conversations with you, Fernando.
That's
For that,
right.
we wish you a great day, a great week. And we're going to go into our next commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be wrapping up today's show. Stay tuned.
These charter mints aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the
Northern
2023
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Culsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corzal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning,
of
the
northern
2023
lagoon in the Good evening. Good evening. I'm Cherie Culsel, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Belize, you're watching the nation station, Channel 7.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
All right, Sunup family, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that last conversation, and we hope you've enjoyed me and Kevin's first show for 2026. This is the first time we're hosting. Yay! Hopefully not our last.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully it's not our last. I highly
don't
doubt
think
it.
will. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Once they're live, Courtney, I'm sure we're gonna be able to do it again.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. So we started off with the first beef for 2026. So we were so glad to be able to bring that to you.
That is true.
And then, we had Inner Peace Financials, Nicolene Raymond, the founder, who spoke about budgeting and the importance of budgeting and how you can get started, even if you have never had a budget in your life, and even if you think that your finances are unmanageable at this point, you can get started. She has basics for you to be able to look at your finances in a different way and level up, which is what we're doing for 2026. We are leveling up for 2026.
I agree. We are.
And we had Cellular World, who just left, talking about their Jumpstart January promotions. They have something like every month. Their anniversary, Christmas, January, and they're probably going to have something for February too. So you could stay tuned to this show to always know, and their social media accounts to always know what they have coming up.
What?
So.
You're going to talk about February.
Yeah, we're living in the future.
Valentine's, I look forward to Valentine's.
Those love deals.
Just like I love Valentine's.
Oh, and for the holiday, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
mentioned this, yeah, just a day of love, and I think.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
Looking
so
forward to
hopefully
that.
you get to host the Valentine's show. I don't know what day Valentine's falls on. No, it's a Saturday, I think. Or
I
something.
don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a Friday.
A Friday, okay.
Yeah,
so see,
I think it's a Friday.
Kevin will be dressed up in his hearts.
Yeah, last year
Bringing
Renata and I
love.
had a great time doing that. But definitely, it was a good start of the week. People have been looking forward to, what Jules has to share on the Monday morning beef. As always, it's a conversation starter. It also let us know what can we expect to hear on the news. But definitely, it's like a good point of perspective where you can be like, step out of your zone and see what's happening around you. And I
Right.
think it's very important if we want to be able to create a meaningful change that we would like to see for our country, right? It's like calling out those things that maybe people do not usually call out,
Mhm.
which I really appreciate. So we gave you your Monday morning beef serving, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, beef.
Yeah, so we thank our, oh, it's going to be on Saturday. There we go. So that means that we're
Right.
still going to be having that
Of the Valentine's
Valentine's
show on
special
Yeah.
on a Friday. Okay, all right. I look forward to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kevin, how has your 2026 been so far?
It's been excellent. It's been excellent. I mean, I did get sick at the start of the year, and I feel like, it took me to like childhood days because I would religiously get sick on the 1st of January. Like, I always get fever.
Okay.
And my granny would say it's because I'm growing, and my health and my immune system is strengthening.
Okay.
So I'm taking it as that, right? My immune system is strengthening for the year that is coming.
Yeah.
And I went hiking on Saturday. So I just want to give a shout out to the rangers and the staff at the Eligio Pante National Park, which is located in the Cayo district, outside of the San Antonio village. Such beautiful forest, I have to say. And it's a great hike. Definitely what they shared is that not much people go to visit and experience what Eligio Pante has to offer. They have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful waterfall, Sapodilla Waterfalls.
Mhm.
And they also have caves. They're opening new trails. So I encourage people to step out, this year, go and explore what Belize has to offer.
Right.
Eligio Pante is a great park that you can go and visit. And also take a moment to reflect on who Eligio Pante was,
Mhm.
right? He's somebody that was really involved in using natural resources for medicinal healing. So the park was named in his honor. So yeah, so it's been off to a great start. How about yours?
Mine has been good. I did get sick as well. But it's been relaxing. I think I've spent a lot of time with friends.
Mm.
And I think that's something I want to continue doing throughout the year is, because get out of my little space in my apartment and just get outside more, do more things with my friends and, be more outdoorsy and whatnot. So I think it's off to a pretty good start the first 4 days. And we'll see this is my first day of work.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was sick on Friday.
Okay.
This is my first actual day of work. So we'll see what's in store for today. And the rest of January, in terms of news, I'm hoping that this year isn't as exciting as last year. Last year, we had a lot of things going on. Like, when we did our end of year review, we realized how insane last year was. So we're hoping that this year, no news is good news, right? But we're hoping it's not as exciting.
Ah.
But we'll see.
Wow, it's just the 5th of January, right?
Yeah. And I'm already anticipating what all is there to come. But I have high hopes for 2026.
Definitely. And one thing, I'm really grateful that, people are still with us in 2026. We see regular and usual names on our Facebook Live. And I say usual, and that doesn't mean that we're taking you for granted. We totally value that you are in this year with us and, making us some company every morning on Sunup on 7. Extremely grateful for your company, for always encouraging people to tune into Sunup on 7. If you see us on the streets, you always say hi. And it's a great feeling to be able to have. So thank you so much for starting your day with us, your week with us. And we're going to look forward to what comes in 2026. At least for Sunup on 7, there's many things to look forward to. We have our specials coming up. I know one of the things that viewers shared is that they would like to see more out-of-studio experiences. So we hope that we can have those too for you this year. But we look forward to having a fun, educational, inspiring show this year. I think it's going to be a very, very good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. We have 2 minutes to go, Courtney.
2 minutes to go. All right, New Year's resolutions. Go.
New Year's resolutions. That's a good one. One thing that I want to do this year is I did the half marathon for the end of the world. And I'm highly contemplating doing the full marathon this year.
For the end of the world.
For the end of the world.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I can train for.
Yeah.
I also breathe less. Breathe less? Read less. Oh, I'm like, breathe less. I'm like, what does that mean? Who's going to read less? No, we're not going to read less.
We're going to read more.
We're going to read more, yeah.
Right.
Definitely. No, we did not check Jules' pressure today. Maybe on the next serving of the
Yeah, we
beef.
have to.
Yeah, but what is one resolution that you have?
Well, you mentioned the half marathon. I didn't run the half marathon last year, but I'm thinking, because I know Belize City Council has a half marathon during summer, so I think I'm going to aim for that one. And also, I'm highly contemplating the climb of death. I know it's hard,
Yeah.
but I want to work towards that. Because I already did 10 miles for the Jaguar run. It's just that this one is harder because it's that the climb of
Yeah,
it.
I love that we're having like this runners conversation on Sunup on 7. You know, and because there's definitely runners also like that are in tuned in the viewers. So
Yeah,
look
so
at
Climb
us
of Death
making.
and the Belize City Half Marathon are two things that I'm contemplating. I also have educational goals I'm hoping to, that's my biggest thing for this year, educational goals that I'm hoping to achieve, to accomplish. Yeah, I think those two, running and my education, are two of the main things I'm looking at this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely focused on my well-being. That's
Yeah.
very, very, very important. But yeah, so we've come to the end of Sun Up on 7.
Right.
So we thank you again once more for starting your day with us. Look forward to a great episode tomorrow with Brandon and Renata. We're gonna see when we meet again. Hopefully on a Friday when we can have a festive time, Courtney.
And hopefully they bring
Yeah.
some food, so.
And then
Okay.
we're working. Oh, I said I'm gonna work on my punta skills for this year. That's one thing that I'm gonna work on.
So you prepare for November.
So when November comes, you will not recognize me. We're gonna see. But folks, thank you so much. Have a great day. We wish you all the best today. Have a healthy one. Be kind, be loving, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me see you do your thing now. You're rolling, how you're rolling. Party them a jumping, party them a jumping.
DJ man, you know you're ready, party. You is the man that make everybody irate.
A place to call your home, a place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up,